great deal of speculation this offseason that two-way Japanese sensation Shohei Ohtani would end up with the Yankees. Not only is that not going to happen, but he's not going to end up with the Mets either. Ohtani has eliminated both New York teams and stated a preference to play at a smaller market, probably out on the West Coast. The Mariners, the Angels, and the Padres considered the frontrunners at the moment, although the Rangers and the Cubs, the Dodgers, and the Giants, they are all still in contention for Ohtani's services. So what do you make, fellas, of Ohtani cutting both of the New York teams from his list? I'll begin with you on that, Anthony.
Well, Gary, I was surprised that the Yankees got axed out of there so quick, because I certainly gobbled up all the hype about them being the favorites, and I really thought they were. And you know, I know they wanted them too, as Brian Cashman made clear last night when he broke the news about them going out. So, you know, I'm surprised that he's narrowed it down this quickly and, you know, is going so, you know, into these meetings with teams without bringing the Yankees in just to hear what they'd have to say, because you never know what the Yankees are going to do. You know, but I mean, this is kind of cool also that he's nobody, you know, it's not automatically going to the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of shocked in that way, too. Like, I would have loved to have seen Brian Cashman's face when he got that phone call from the CAA agents and said, yeah, he's not coming to New York. And Cashman was probably like, what? Is this the wrong number? So, yeah, I mean, Cashman had to be stunned by that. And, you know, it's disappointing, too, right? I mean, it would have been great to have this guy here in the city to cover it. It would have been, you know, the excitement around him would have been massive. But, yeah, for a player to cut New York out both sides like that, you know, the Mets had to be pretty surprised, too.
To be honest, I'm not surprised. I guess this guy has obviously shown that he doesn't care about money. I mean, if he had waited 2 more years, he would have gotten a contract of $100 million or more, very likely. So this is not about money. I mean, he wants to pick a place that fits him best. And he's from a small town in Japan. He played for a smaller market in Japan. Like, why would he want to go to the biggest, most extreme market in the United States? So I guess it makes sense that he does want to go somewhere smaller. So albeit, like, yes, the Yankees had $3.5 million to spend, but maybe it just didn't fit his personality. So I guess for me, I would really, honestly, was not that shocked.
You know, this guy's one of the great unknowns. He's got sort of this whole mysterious thing going on around him. Is he the modern-day Sid Finch, I think, is the question when it comes to Ohtani. But how does this, and again, we don't think that Sandy Alderson really believed he was going to be in the Mets' plans, but how does this change Sandy's thinking now as he heads down to Orlando and the winter meetings? I
mean, Sandy did make a presentation and was prepared to be involved in this bidding. I mean, they were going to be part of this. That was clear. But, you know, now that that is off the table, you know, it does give the Mets a little more clarity about moving forward, you know, to discuss our trades that we mentioned clearly at the top of the show. But, yeah, I mean, the Mets have things they have to address. Ohtani's gone now. He's going to be somebody else's priority. And so it does give them more of a clear mind heading in.
Yeah, I mean, this where he ends up will help clarify what's going to happen. And I guess that's kind of the reason why we've seen this kind of the offseason been so slow, because I think he is waiting to determine where he's going to go, and then I think the dominoes will fall. Whatever team loses out will spend the money, and I think the Mets in that case too. I mean, they may not sign a starting pitcher, but at least now they know for sure that this is not one guy that they would luckily get.
And it's not just Ohtani, right? Holding things up, Giancarlo Stanton. What's going to happen there? Is that also those two things? Are those the dominoes that will change the equation here?
Yes, absolutely. You know, I don't know how much resolution we're going to get in how quick a time with Stanton, but, you know, I think Ohtani, he seems to like to move along a little bit, you know. I mean, he'd be a real good pace of play guy, frankly. They ought to contact him about getting involved in that. You know, Stanton is still, he's got all the power. To me, he has much of the power in his situation, so he may slow down the position player market still, even going into the winter meetings, you know, where there'll be a lot of discussions and stuff. But, you know, these two guys are commanding things right now.
Well, we know Stanton has had discussions with both the Giants and the Cardinals. That would appear to be, Dodgers would love to get back in there. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. Do you believe it's going to be an active winter meetings for the Mets?
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll talk to a lot of teams for sure. I mean, we talked about second base a lot. They have to really, you know, have discussions with plenty of teams on that. They need another starting pitcher, as we've talked about. They could use some depth there as well. So, yeah, I mean, I think Sandy and those guys will be talking to plenty of people. When you mean active, does that mean will there be a lot of trades and signing and restock the roster?
Yep.
Yeah, that remains to be seen. You know, we're always cautious with that. This is not a team that throws a ton of money around, obviously. So I think they're going to be cautious going into the meeting.